All systems go. Clear for liftoff.
We are back, week 6 NFL cash game show over at SHIPIT Nation. Basically, the goal of the show, kind of go through, talk some cash game plays. We'll kind of start to develop that player pool, and then kind of have you guys come on over to SHIPITNation.com, where we have cores for DraftKings and FanDuel updated all the way through the weekend, get you started with your cash games. Initial thoughts for me this week, kind of diving in, seems pretty wide open. We'll talk through it. We'll go DraftKings and FanDuel, see what we can find, get onto that path for success this weekend. As always, joined by my guy Title. What's going on? Any initial thoughts for a week 6 cash game plays?
No, 10 games on the slate, 11 on FanDuel. So just like last week, we have another London game. It's very, very the exact same schedule as last week, I believe. Let's see, afternoon games, 4 games the afternoon. Nice. Love to see that. Yeah, I agree with you. I do think it is pretty wide open. The story of the slate, I saw Tambo made a tweet earlier, like 9,500 for Lamar Jackson on FanDuel. It stays true, man. FanDuel has been a way better at pricing. I think it's been probably 2-3 years. Memory doesn't serve 100% correct, but I know at least was last year as well. They got McCaffrey's of the world up and DraftKings been soft. But yeah, like Spencer Rattler at 4K. You would hope DraftKings would be tight enough where, okay, like 4K sometimes, 14 points, and it gets you everyone else. That's the game we used to play and having to make decisions like that. Maybe it is partly due to just a billion injuries this year. Like it feels way more than normal. So a lot of cheap options there. But yeah, I think it's open today or this week for sure, because there's not like 5 locks, but there's a lot of strong plays that it's going to come down to 2v2s and 3v3s like usual.
Yeah, quarterback discussion is an interesting one because, kind of anywhere you go, if you sort by value, which I have up here on our optimizer, the Shiptimizer over at SHIPITNation.com, our projections in here, you go in, you sort by value, Rattler's going to show up. I mean, like you said, a lot of times if this does hold true and he gets between 13 and 15 fantasy points and you're able to get everyone else, I mean, it's an interesting conversation. There's Will Levis at 48, but I think we definitely can go ahead and just start with like the Rattler stuff. Like, is he in play? What do you need him to do in order for this sort of play to kind of pay off in cash games?
I just don't think we need it this week, man. Yeah. There's so many cheap options. The main story of the slate feels like the Falcons. They seem really underpriced, but like Chuba, 6.3K, starting running back. Bijan's under 7K. We have also the thing about quarterback too is like it's not a great matchup. Todd Bowles taking on a rookie quarterback making his first start. Love to blitz, probably pin their ears back, and the Saints will do anything I think they can to just get Kamara the ball. Is Taysom still going to be out too? It looks like so. That is a bump for them. I think they would really even try and pound the football, but Jamal got a little work. I think they're going to try and do everything they can to keep the Rattler to easy decisions, a couple step dropbacks, hand it off to Kamara, screens, and it just really limits his upside when guys like Hurts are on the slate, Lamar is on the slate, Dak's on the slate in the solid spots, Jada Daniels is on the slate, and then if I do go cheap, like Justin Fields at 5'8", I feel better because of his rushing upside. I know obviously that is a way, way different price tag, 5'8" to 4K. But as we start talking through these positions, I just don't think that there's like CeeDee Lamb all the way up at 8.6K. He's a solid play, but if you drop down to, let's see, you drop down over 2K, Chris Godwin at 6.9K or about 1,700. Like I think that's relatively close. That's 1,700. I'd rather go upgrade my Rattler quarterback probably to Fields there because of the rushing upside. And it just, man, like that position can absolutely nuke. And I'll just get right into it. I don't even love Fields that much. I really do think right now I'm more than likely going to pay up for Hurts or Lamar because obviously Hurts with his rushing upside, Lamar with his rushing upside, And Lamar's just in the great spot against Daniels on the other side. Washington defense has not been good this year. Lamar, big boy game for him, coming off a big win last week against the Bengals. They still need to win, and we're seeing Lamar use his legs a lot. 37 DK points, 24, 25, 17, 29. If I can get Lamar, I do want him on DK. Otherwise, I think it's probably Hurts. And if I need a little more savings there, I'm good with Dak at 6-7 as well against the Lions.
Yeah, I like that call. I mean, he came off a big game, and I think we're going to get back to a lot of the Dak stuff for fantasy purposes. They just, man, like their offense is pretty ineffective if it's not like from the passing. And he just has the ability to come up with big games, regardless of game script, regardless of situation. So it sounds like Lamar, Hurts, Dak, Fields, maybe. And
that's where I'm at right now.
Depending on what we got, yeah.
Yeah, and I just don't see myself, like, the more news that pops up, it's the more value we have. So if I don't see myself getting Rattler right now on Friday, I really doubt I get it on Sunday. But yeah, you're playing 50% Rattler. You think he does good, you get the whole world with him. But another thing is, like, highest running back price on the slate, 8.2K. Highest receiver, only 2 of them above 8K. Yeah. Usually the Rattlers in the world, we were paying 10K for McCaffrey. We were paying 9.4 for Justin Jefferson in a great spot, etc. We just really don't have those this week. So it's more mid-tier, and you just can't miss a quarterback, I don't think, this week in cash.
Yeah, I think part of the reason that we feel so good, we'll kind of transition over to running back, is like you probably don't have to play any of these top-end guys. We have a lot of mid-tier options that are viable. I have it sorted by projected points here. Yeah, Barkley at 8.2 is the highest guy. Kamara, who I think is officially questionable, but it looks like he's probably going to practice in a limited fashion. I think he's going to be in than Derrick Henry. But after that, there's a big drop-off in price. Now I'm going to go and sort by value and kind of talk. So we have Rico as our top value, coming off like a 20-plus touch game. Tony Pollard got 22 carries. Najee Harris continues to show up well and continues to absolutely suck at being a running back in the NFL. Bijan under 7K, like you said, that's definitely appealing for an offense that seemed to kind of get it going last week. Hubbard has the big workload. We got the Detroit guys. Josh Jacobs, if they're in a good game script, can always go out there and get a ton of the work. So probably looking at some of these dudes between like 5,800 and 6,600. I think there's a lot of potential cash options in that group.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is definitely a big talking point to start. And then Philly about Bijan, his hammy, didn't practice. And then he goes, if he misses his Algier lock, I probably think so. And like if Bijan plays, man, is he a really strong play? 6.6K. I know everyone. It's always Bijan. Now it's like DraftKings is doing what FanDuel did last year with Drake London. Like they're just forcing you to play him. The game log has not been great. Algier's been in the mix way more than we thought. Like 12 rushing attempts. Like the touches, 15, 11, 18, 18. Week 1 with 23 was the most, and it's gone down since. It's not great, but the price is at a discount enough. And this Panthers team is terrible. This defense could not get off the field one bit last week. Like a lot of these Falcons are underpriced. Again, if I had to pick one team, a story of the slate, I think you're playing multiple Falcons in cash. Bijan plays 6.6, great play. He doesn't. Tyler Algier, 5.1K, most definitely in play as a workhorse back. Favorites there. But yeah, I think I agree with you in the sense of like I just don't see myself really getting up to Derrick Henry, Saquon. I'm interested in the quarterbacks, not really as interested in the running backs. Kamara, I'd be more interested in him than Derrick Henry and Saquon. I think at 7-7, they're going to, 25 touches, you'd think, for Kamara and keep it off of Rattler's hands. Now, how far, those touches could be, they're stacking the box, screen passes that they're all over. Like, the defense will game plan for Kamara. So I honestly don't love it. Like, tournaments-wise, I think of it as, I prefer Kamara with Derek Carr because it's more of a threat to stretch it down the field. Defense can focus on other stuff. Again, 7-7 if you have the money for Kamara. I think it's fine, but because I'm going up at quarterback, these mid-tier guys, Rico coming off a great touch game, looks like he does have control as a starting running back room, which he should. Zeke's awful. Deuce Vaughn's 4-2, etc. Tony Pollard, he's definitely taken over Tajee Spears. I think that's a great price tag at 6K. Jonathan Taylor was ruled out. Trey Sermon. Hold on, where is this? 6K. He got all the dump offs in the world. The problem is he had 18, a lot of catches. He did fall in the box as well. The problem is A-Rich will probably be back. I don't know what that really does for Sermon. Any thoughts there? Like, I think that he has more running holes because of Richardson's legs options, but I don't think Richardson's going to dump it down that many times. So any thoughts on him at 6K versus Rico and Pollard? And
I think it's definitely a little bit of a downgrade for Sermon. I think I agree with you and like those other guys a little bit better, just because like when you play a guy like him, you want the outs of him, like, getting, if they're down at the one, that he gets that carry and not the quarterback. So I think I'm with you on the other guys like Rico and Pollard look solid in terms of their workload, matchup, that sort of thing. And unfortunately, probably even Najee Harris, which again, he's not very good, but he's going to continue to get all the work in a good matchup. So I think I definitely prefer those guys over Sermon.
Yeah, another one, Rachaad White. He didn't practice yesterday, so keep an eye on that. Solid price at 5.7, but again, I don't know. Bucky's 5.4, and I've said it since week one. Like, the more the weeks go, I think the closer the gap will be, and Bucky has definitely closed the gap. So, like, if Rachaad White's out, Bucky would be a great cash play. Chuba Hubbard's still great with his role. Yeah, I think like the Najee Harris of the world, Javonte Williams maybe, but I think you're really sticking more so in this mid-tier, and Bijan news is very important.
Yep.
J.K. Dobbins even, I don't even think he's terrible. Ramondre Stevenson got back to his workload. Moral of the story, I'm not playing Rattler as much because I think I'm going to be more in this mid-tier at running back, and I prefer that type of build than stars and scrubs.
Yeah, and then just in terms of the running back conversation, makes it very interesting for like tournaments with those expensive guys maybe going a little overlooked. Something to definitely keep an eye on as the week goes on. Over at the wide receiver position, have it sorted just by projected points, and you see Stephon Diggs at the top with Nico Collins out, only 7,400. Good matchup for him. We've got CeeDee Lamb up here at 86. Jaden Reed, Godwin, Drake London, Amon-Ra St. Brown at 81. So it does look like a lot of solid spends, and I guess higher mid-tier type plays as well that look in pretty good spots. Sort by value, see if anything pops up for cheap. We got Diggs at the top, showing Ridley here, a little Jordan Humphrey. Darnell Mooney has a legitimate role in this offense. Like, he's highly targeted. They're starting to roll a little bit. McLaurin, and potentially a trailing game script. The Shaheed thing's interesting. Like, yeah, it's almost like he's their number one, honestly. Like, they do so much to get him the ball. Jameson, Drake London, again, coming off the big game. Jaden Reed's going to continue to be the man. And then Chris Godwin at 69. So I think there's a lot of different ways to go. I feel fine, going to someone like St. Brown at 81. If you got the money, obviously CeeDee Lamb, but I think you're going to see a lot of upper sixes in up to like Diggs as the plays for cash are the ones that are the most appealing at this point. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree with you. You just want to sort by projected value. I want to just take a look at some of those, but I agree with you. Yeah. I think it's mainly going to be the 6K range, the 5K guys. I like Diggs a lot. Diggs and Tank Dell. Obviously without Nico, 6.2K is Tank, 7.4K is Diggs, both very much in play. I think the Falcons receivers are probably the best on the slate. What makes it so nice with them is, they're always on the field. They run 11 personnel almost 100% of the time. Drake London only 6'7". Again, Panthers defense is cheeks too. So I'm playing multiple Falcons in cash. Drake London 6'7", too cheap. Darnell Mooney 5'3", too cheap. Ray McLeod 4'3", too cheap. It just comes down to how many are you comfortable playing, roster construction, etc. But that's 4 guys so far I've listed. Bijan, Drake, Mooney, McLeod, all too cheap because Panthers are cheeks at the end of the day. Falcons implied for like 27 points this week. All of them mispriced. Another situation, the Colts. Michael Pittman headed to the IR. Josh Downs, again, it sounds like it's going to be Anthony Richardson, which is a downgrade for these receivers. Like, I would like Josh Downs a lot more with Joe Flacco at 5'5" than I do A-Rich, but it's still a wide receiver 1 now in the slot at 5'5" without Pittman. So, like, I have to have some interest. Adonai Mitchell, 3.9. I think another guy very much in play. Cash games, I do prefer the Moonies of the world, though. Another one, Brandon Cooks went to the IR. Jalen Tolbert, 5K, coming off a massive game on primetime, 21 DK points. He's going to get put into the wide receiver 2 role. Another good value play right there. What did I miss? Cortland Sutton. I mean, man, his target share has been great. It's been a little disappointing. I think he's fine at 5.3. Terry McLaurin in a great game environment. Jaden Daniels, Scary Terry, 6.4K. You mentioned the Diggs, the Tank Dells. Godwin I'm always fine with. I do worry about that game a little bit, though, with Rattler behind center. Deontay Johnson and Leggett. I think they're fine without Thielen. Like, if the Falcons do absolutely dominate, you'd expect Panthers to have to drop back a lot. Deontay coming off a bad game, but the offense just looked a little bad. Before that, him and Dalton had a good connection. So him, Leggett, I think fine as well. Yeah, I mean, I think I listed enough, guys.
Yeah, I think Deontay Johnson's officially questionable with the ankle, but I'm assuming he does play. But if not,
That's my thoughts on all that.
Yeah. I'm guessing he's probably in, so could obviously change if he's out. But yeah, a good group of guys to target for cash. The
Falcons story of the slate right there.
Yeah, it is
Falcons.
wild. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I mean, again, good map coming into an ideal matchup, and finally just got everything kind of rolling last time out. In that who they play? Was it Tampa Bay? I believe.
Yeah, that was the absolute nuke on the Thursday. Yep.
Yeah, they absolutely smoked them. So, good spot for the Atlanta Falcons. Tight end position. If you go and sort by just actual points, got Goddard. Sounds like it. Well, I think it is for sure. AJ Brown and Devonta Smith going to be back, so a little bit of a downgrade for him. Bowers coming off the big game. Got McBride. Pitts is cheap. Looks like he was going to have the big game last time out. Had the catch right out of the gate, but then ended up obviously going to others. But I think he's playable. Let's go ahead and sort by value. We have Hunter Henry at the top. Goddard, Pitts, Otten, Hurst, Schultz, Ferguson for 5K. I do like as well against the Lions. But I don't know. It doesn't seem like a standout play here at the tight end position. What are your thoughts?
It rarely is. This position always stinks, man. These tight ends haven't done nothing this year. If you've saved draft equity in best ball at tight end, you're more than likely doing well. Ferguson, though, like you said, sticks out to me. Like, I love that game. 13, 12, 15 in his last 3 games. 7, 11 targets. Yeah, if I could get Ferg, I definitely like that. If not, Tucker Kraft's too closely priced to Ferg, but I definitely like him in tournaments. Not worth paying more than if you're not going for Ferg, I think you're really just saving money. Like the Cade Ottens of the world you see right there, the Hunter Henrys of the world, the Zach Ertzes of the world in a good game environment. I don't think I'm going to get to Pitts because I already mentioned the 3 receivers and Bijan. Like I already not sure I want to play all 4 of those. 3 of them even feels like, man, do I really love that? So why would I add Pitts in the mix? I'd rather save the money or find the money. That dude's been dust.
It is a tough position. Nothing truly stands out, but the position has just been garbage all year. I mean, just so many disappointing performances, like week in, week out, guys that we feel good about just not getting the job done. So, yeah, I mean, if you get here and you need to take a real big risk, like I don't have a problem with that whatsoever. Don't usually talk a ton defense. I'm just going to go in here, sort by value, see if anything stands out. So we're liking the Packers at 31. We've got the Colts up here, got the Saints at 27. Some cheaper ones.
It's probably Tampa. I'm not saying it's a lot.
We got a low number. So facing
Rattler.
Rattler 2,600. Yeah, it's probably that's a good call.
Again, I'm not 100% like we're gonna promise I play them right now, but just know they will be the chalk.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it was such a volatile. And I will say, man, I've gotten crushed by D the past 2 weeks. Falcons 2 weeks ago when they had 2 touchdowns, and Broncos last week. So the chalk has been absolutely burying me so far this year. But yeah, Bucks definitely
annoying.
popular.
Before we switch over to FanDuel, please do us that favor, hit the like and subscribe. Keep these videos free as long as the like numbers and subscription numbers continue to go up. These all our videos will be free, and this one as well. So please hit the like and subscribe. Over on FanDuel, you get that primetime game as well added into the equation, and actually our projections.
It's an important one.
Yeah, like both quarterbacks in that game are 2 highest projected best values on the slate. Jones at 68, and then Joe Burrow at 8,100. You sort by actual points. Lamar Jackson, like I said, they got him way up there at 95. Might be tough to get there. Jalen Hurts is $1,200 cheaper than Lamar Jackson. So if you're looking for a running quarterback, I'm assuming you just end up going Hurts over Jackson. You got Jaden Daniels at 87, more expensive than Hurts. So I guess for me, initially out of the gate, like if you're getting up in this range, probably Hurts at 83. If you want to save some money, I guess you could, but I don't know. That price seems pretty damn good to me. Hurts 8,300 at home. They're projected to score. What's the number? It's a big boy number, like 26 actual points. Seems like he might just be the player.
I'm with you. I do think it is Jalen Hurts. If it's not Hurts, you're saving enough money. Like sort by projected value. What do we have? Danny Dimes way up there.
Yeah, he's
like
68,
1,500. I would not call you crazy. Rushing upside. Bengals defense hasn't been great, but they lost Neighbors again this week, and that is definitely a big downgrade. I mean, if Darius Slayton's Calvin Johnson again, yeah, maybe Danny Dimes gets there, but no Neighbors is always a boost down a little bit. More than likely, I want Hurts.
I do like the Calvin Johnson shot out there. Is the man.
It
was who was it? They're like, oh, there was like I don't know, it was like a social media thing. Calvin Johnson versus somebody in the red. It's Calvin Johnson for sure.
Yeah.
Like it is Calvin over anyone in that scenario. I mean, he got
so fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, just Matthew Stafford's terrible at the time. He just pipe it up to Calvin Johnson, triple coverage. Yep, he was coming down with it.
It was amazing as a Packer fan because Lions always suck, so I never had to really care. This was back when I was really a diehard and wasn't just cheering for my money, but I always loved Calvin Johnson. I was like, Lions suck, but I can cheer for the man. So
you know, it's just a bunch of empty statistics. It never really mattered because they never won the game. So you could go off, catch multiple touchdowns, fun to watch, and if your team was playing them, you could kind of root for them because you knew the Lions weren't going to freaking win because they're not anymore. Things have changed. Yes, the running back position on FanDuel looks a little more difficult because of these price tags. We got the same trio up top: Barkley 9.2, Kamara 8.8, Derrick Henry 91, but we're not seeing the big price drop down to that next range. We have Bijan at 85, the Lions guys in the upper sevens. I do want to sort by value here. And so you got Rico 61, got 22 carries. I imagine he's strongly in consideration for cash. Got Tony Pollard, 7K flat. Again, 20 plus touches, pretty good spot. Najee 72, Chuba Hubbard 74. I'd say probably pretty similar to DK, except the fact that Bijan has legitimate price tag over here, whereas on DK he does not. What are your thoughts here?
Yep, I agree with you. I don't think you're spending for the Saquons, the Henrys of the world. Bijan, you're not as well on FanDuel. Big boy price. I think the highest I would probably go, Gibbs, 7.8. Josh Jacobs, 7.6. I think both are in fine spots. Go down a little bit. Chuba, 7.4. Another very good spot. Najee, I don't know, man. He's definitely in play, but it's always a number or a name I hate to click. Like Pollard's there at 7K, Chuba's there at 7.4. I think I prefer both of them, so I can get away on FanDuel, I think. Stevenson, again, he retook that role. I think 6.8 is a good price tag. J.K. Dobbins and them coming off the bye week. And man, it looked real good in the beginning of the year. He does look like the starting running back. 6.7K for a team that just wants to run the football. Looks good, even though I don't love picking on Denver. Again, monitor the Rashad White stuff. If he doesn't play, what do we have Bucky at? 5.7K.
Yeah. One other thing I did actually just saw it was Ramondre Stevenson was not at the start of practice today. So
Gibson 5.5 on FanDuel.
5.5 on FanDuel. Yeah, and then 5.3 on DK. So that's definitely something to monitor. Yeah, so if he gets ruled out, Stevenson, imagine Gibson on both sites potentially as a play. So just something to keep an eye on.
Yep, and moral of the story, I think FanDuel and DK are kind of similar in the sense of I want to spend up at quarterback if I can, and I don't think I'm going to be spending up at any other running back. I think the mid-tier is strong enough. So far, pretty similar, and I think receiver will continue.
Yeah, probably a lot of the same when you come over here. Neighbors is going to be out. We still have him in. That'll get updated relatively soon. Wan'Dale Robinson at 63, I think totally fine. I mean, he's legit. He's a legit player for sure. 6,300, solid for him. Sorting by points. So yeah, I love the pricing on FanDuel. I mean, giving guys that have gone off a legitimate price tag, 9,500 for Jamar Chase, and people are going to not want to click that in cash, and they probably don't, and it's probably not the right move to click it in cash, but for tournaments, love this sort of play. Stephon Diggs 8K, CD Lamb 93, Jaden Reed 77, Drake London, so some more Atlanta guys showing up 7-4, Chris Godwin 7-5, Amon-Ra 9K, Mike Evans 82, Terry McLaurin under 7K at 68. AJ Brown is back at 81. I don't know. It's probably like some of these guys in here. Godwin 75, Drake London 74, Jaden Reed 77, Stephon Diggs 8K. Seem like legit options over here for cash. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I think that's, again, it's not going to be in those 9Ks up top. I do think it is. The problem with Reed, I like him for sure in tournaments and stuff. Cash games, I'm not sure because I think Dobbs will be back this week.
Yeah.
Dobbs. And then Christian Watson might play too. Like, he's really progressing with his injury. So, and they priced the Packers up on both sides. So, good game environment to target. Very high team total for the Packers. Like some of them in tournaments, but cash games looks like they probably will be back to their 4 receivers, maybe back to those 4 receiver sets, which I don't love as much. I like the Godwin price tag. I like the Drake London price tag. I like the Zay Flowers price tag in a great game at 7-2. Deontay Johnson, if he plays, just a target monster. Terry McLaurin, like you mentioned, I like that a lot. Tank Dell without Nico Collins at 6-7. Not a great matchup. Like in New England, never a spot I love, but it's a huge, huge target share that's gone with Nico that you think Diggs and Tank will soak up. You mentioned the Wan'Dale Robinson at what, 6'3". We also got
Slayton
5.9K.
Yeah.
Yep, no neighbors. That's a great spot.
Yeah.
We saw what he did last week. Jalen Tolbert 6'1". Again, no Brandon Cooks. So Tolbert's now in wide receiver 2 sets coming off the big game. Feels weird to see guys like Calvin Ridley down here at 6K. Wow.
6K showing up as a solid value for us. Second
Rightfully
best.
So. Yeah. He's ran bad this year when you really dive into it. I think Cortland Sutton, 5'6", another guy that has really had the target share, just hasn't converted. Yeah, I think that's like the Suttons, the Slaytons, the Robinsons, the Calvin Ridleys. There's enough Jalen Tolberts. There's enough guys there where I think you're probably playing 1, maybe 2, picking a low 7K option. And again, that's why I want Hurts and stuff. So I'm already spending at some spots. So yeah, very similar, I think, FanDuel and DK this week.
Yep. All right, we'll flip over to tight end, see what we can find. I mean, it was a difficult position, or it looks like it's going to be a difficult position over on DK to kind of fill in. And honestly, looking at this stuff, it might be actually, you know what, Ferguson at 61 stands out as a really good play.
Yeah, I think we're playing Fergie this week.
Yeah, I think it's Fergie for sure. 6,100, solid price tag. Just so solid. Cook's out, a little bit of a boost for him. I really like that. I just can't imagine like settling on $200 cheaper for Pitts or getting up to these guys. Like 61 for him just feels like he's the play here, to be honest with you.
Highest total on the slate, 2 good offenses, no Cooks, like you said, a little boost there. 10, 8, 12, last 3 FanDuel like points at a position that's been this bad this year. Ferg feels real safe.
Yeah, I think so. So yeah, I think that's might be one of the easier positions of the both sites between FanDuel and DraftKings. FanDuel tight end. I think you just lock him and move on. Like let your opponents make the mistake of not playing him. It just seems like a good price.
100%. That's part of like if you're playing Hurts and Ferg, usually we've been punting, especially DK, the tight end position in the 3K. So if you're playing a 5K one, that shows the mid-tier running backs more, the mid-tier receivers more, and not the ability to go all the way up. So yeah, I think roster construction came together pretty nicely on both. But things can change in 1 second.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of guys still listed as questionable. I mean, we think a lot of them probably play, but there's a good chunk of those running backs still listed as questionable, some wide receivers. Things can can change, but as it stands now, I think we're on the right path. Defenses for FanDuel. Just want to pull this up real quick. Where's
they got the Bucks to 3-7, so that's still cheap. Yeah. I think 3-7 Bucks. I think 100 more is the Falcons. I mean, not like Carolina's great, but Dalton probably better than Rattler. And then all the way down though, Patriots at home against Stroud. Do I love defense against Stroud? No, but without Nico at home for the Patriots, this feels like a tough spot for Houston traveling. So I do think if you want a full punt, I'd be good with that too.
Yeah, if you needed, 500? I mean, but we have the projection a little moderate.
I guess I will say too. I mean, Giants isn't the worst either. It's not like the O-line's great. We had Giants projected a lot better than Patriots. So
showing up a good value for us. Yeah. I mean, Burrow will take some sacks. He'll make some mistakes. Where is that game? Is that game in New York? I'd feel a little bit better.
I want to. Oh yeah, it is. You're right. It is in New York.
It is in New York. Yeah. So I'd feel maybe like a little bit better about that play with it being. Yeah. At home. So yeah, I don't hate that, but yeah, I think Tampa. I mean, Tampa would probably be a priority for me, I guess. Try to make it work, but again, defense, anything can happen. So if I need to save a few, you can always take the risk. So, any final thoughts before we get on under?
Just remember, FanDuel has that Sunday night game. We're talking Giants, no neighbors, so we're talking Slate and we're talking Robinson. If you do cheap quarterback, Danny Dimes is in play. So. FanDuel is, pricing's definitely better. I think roster construction's similar on both sites, but we usually focus Sunday mornings, and most majority of people that watch this play DK. The one thing I will give FanDuel is the one thing that I actually can fill money on and is good is NFL cash games, and the pricing's good. You actually can get money down if you want to get it down. So that's the only thing they're holding on to. I hope that does not go away, but yeah, I
definitely split it up. I mean, just to add on to that, if you're someone that just primarily plays on DK, like I would definitely split up your action between the two. I mean, you can get some unique head-to-heads. I think you have a much better chance of that on FanDuel versus DraftKings. So I would try to play both, and then you can kind of potentially find some natural hedge situations between the two. So yeah, definitely play both if you're playing cash games. Split up your bankroll or whatever you're playing for the week and do it that way, in my opinion. So
absolutely love that call. If you have $100 DraftKings you play on cash games, go 50-50. Diversifying your portfolio, always better, allows you to stay in the game longer, realize your edge longer. Instead of one slate, you're getting two slates, and like that natural hedge we sometimes talk about. I think that's really sharp call.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, good luck to everyone in your cash game contest and GPPs, whatever you're doing this week. Make sure to tune in Sunday morning, myself, Taito, Tambo, talking through the main slate. We'll hit on all the talking points, cover any injuries that pop up in the next couple of days here. But make sure to tune in next week where we'll be back here, same time, talking week 7. Good luck this week in your contest. Go out there and ship something.